despite what their moms told them. They just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot. And really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Sunday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe for the Believe Entertainment Network. Go there, join the militia. A couple games to go over and some other news we'll briefly touch. First, double overtime win versus the California Golden Bears, 107-100. Syracuse's first overtime win of the season, too. And this was this game was pretty close all the way throughout. I saw the lead changes in this thing were insane.
Yeah.
How many was it? It was 28. Mm-hmm. Lead changes in this thing. So possession by possession, they were battling all the way through this thing. And, unfortunately, there was plenty of opportunities to put this thing away in regulation. I feel like free throws were an issue. And, 6 for 25. 25 for 42, which so many opportunities were there. And it's just unfortunate that they couldn't be capitalized on. And with that said, I mean, Donnie Freeman is someone who I would expect at this point to, be able to come in clutch in some of those moments. And 3 for 8 from the free throw line, and a lot of that was late. And just, really, I felt like he almost gave it away. Because it was in his hands at one point to really kind of control this and make a big difference. But the one thing that stuck out to me, Joe, is 62 points in the paint and 22 fast break points, which was on 16 turnovers. Was pretty good. So Syracuse had, on paper, man, they had the stats, they had the stat line, they had the numbers. Besides the free throws, to really have this game put away earlier than 2 overtimes. But, a hard-fought game, and you could see the depth becoming an issue with Cal towards the end of this thing. Mm-hmm. And Syracuse, obviously, for the first time in a while, they've got some serious depth that really, help pull them through this game. And, at the end of the day, they had some decent contributions from the bench. I think there was only 14 bench points, but still, there were some minutes there played by Tyler Betsy and Kyan Anthony at the end of this thing that really helped out. So,
Sadiq White too.
Yeah, Sadiq White had, he had the 10 points.
Yeah,
he had 10 and 14 points in off the bench. So,
one of the things that stuck out to me, obviously, shoot 54% from the field as far as from field goals. That's pretty good. William Kyle, 15 points, 16 rebounds. Nate George, 10 assists, albeit he still had 5 turnovers, but that's still a 2-to-1 ratio.
It's not terrible. That's not terrible.
But the one thing that stuck out to me were the amount of assists. I would have to go back. But
that's right. It's 17. I
would have to assume that, in a majority of our games, especially close ones or losses or league play, we're, I think, probably averaging more turnovers than we are assists. And this game, it was 17 assists, 12 turnovers, 12 steals. We had 9 blocks. Just a very opportunistic defense. But to me, it was more the offense, the way they shared the ball, and just get Nate Kings the ball, please. When you start to see the way that we've been turning around our offense and scoring more points, playing a little bit faster, you see a couple different things. Number one, recently we've been, switching off from man to 2-3 zone and trying to create some issues with the other team with switching up defenses, but also, they're moving the ball and they're treating Nate Kings kind of like the way they probably should have earlier in the season. To me, he should be shooting 6 to 10 threes a game. He should probably be close to our leading scorer, and I don't know why it took so long to kind of make this happen. But nonetheless, just you saw it in spurts against Virginia, and you saw it in spurts against North Carolina, but that's obviously against more talented teams. But against California, and obviously the game that we're about to talk about,
right.
I just think that we've seen a lot of changes as far as offense and the way that we're playing offense. There's a lot less standing around.
Yeah, and I mean, it started with Cal. Like you said, to your point, I mean, the ball movement was good enough to where the broadcasters took note of it and mentioned it briefly. So
yep.
It was way more active. Like we've talked before, I mean, the defense has been pretty decent. I mean, they've kept us in these games when we've had scoring droughts and things like that. And, you know, we'll talk about it next, but Nate King's obviously huge in that game against SMU. But, you know, one thing I noticed, too.
He had 27 against Cal.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I noticed, too, with these two games is, you know, the crowd was very poor. Yes. Against California. Now, albeit that was a Wednesday game, right?
Yeah, Wednesday at 7.
So Wednesday at 7's not the best time, so it's not going to give you a completely accurate gauge. But if Syracuse is playing better, I think that there's way more people in those seats for that game.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, I would agree with that for sure. But also I do know, you know, speaking with your brother, one thing that, you know, obviously we didn't know because we don't live up there is there was a blizzard going on where your brother said that they got all 6 of the inches of snow that they were calling for. So it was snowing pretty good too. So it wasn't the greatest weather. So I can see how, you know, the combination of the weather and us, the way the season's going, have a lot to do with that.
Right.
But I want to say I heard something like this is the lowest
turnout,
the lowest turnout for a league game that we've had. I think I don't want to be presumptuous and say since we've gone into the dome, but it's probably pretty close.
Well, the power did go out a couple times,
COVID.
And they were working on. Well, that doesn't count. They were working on backup generators and stuff at one point during that game. So limited lighting, no scoreboard, and I don't even know if there was a shot clock for some of it.
No.
It was on the ground. They had
old school, just
like a high school gym style scoreboard. Yeah.
And the thing was I was kind of fast forwarding, so I didn't really know what was going on. And it was like for the longest time, there was a couple times where I looked at the scoreboard, like on the bottom, and the scores weren't changing, and then the time wasn't running, and I'm like, what's going? And then I obviously, you know, I picked it up. But obviously, you know, just a weird game between, you know, the attendance, that power outages, the things that they happen, and you know, ironically, we can sit here and say that that free throw shooting, you know, we should have been able to shoot better and probably win that in regulation. But ironically, you know, Chris Bell missed 2 or 3 clutch free throws for California that could have won them the game. So
he did, and you know, he looks as happy as ever. So maybe it's not just Syracuse. Maybe that's just how Chris Bell is. So, you know, you play. You're getting ready to play a team that Malik Brown is on. You already played a team that Quadir Copeland was on. And you got to get one of these. You got to get one of these, and I'll take it for what it's worth. And I would love to have the Duke one, but I would have loved to have the NC State one too. But at the end of the day, especially coming back to the Dome for Chris Bell and to have to walk out of there and go all the way back to California with an L. I mean, I'm sorry. I like to see it. That's the competitive nature of me. That's all. You know, I'm sure that, you know, JJ, and there were some late moments with JJ and him in each other's faces. Not John, just one-on-one together. So,
right.
And I guess he's really in him and Donnie Freeman are the only ones he's even going to know. So,
right.
Okay. Well, with that said, we can go ahead and take a listen to what Coach had to say following the game yesterday against SMU.
First, before I start, I'd like to really thank the crowd today. I thought the crowd got into it and really got us and pulled us and gave that energy that we needed. I thought the crowd was on a level 5, so I thought getting all the fans that came out and really got behind this team. And then my team, I just, the fight that these guys have these last 2 games and, just the fight that they've shown, I'm just so proud of these guys. And like we talk about it, we felt like this was a NCAA tournament opportunity for us. SMU is a damn good team, and we had a chance to play them on our home court, and I thought we didn't want to lose that opportunity, and I thought our guys just showed so much heart and fight to get back in and get back into the game and made the stops when we need to make the stops. I thought when we moved the ball better, we got really good shots at the end. We did all the things that we needed to do to pull that victory out. We're going to enjoy this and then get ready tomorrow. Questions?
Ryan Anthony, you talk about this team having that resolve and bend but don't break, just what he did down the stretch and multiple opportunities that he had.
I thought Cayenne really gave us a huge boost. He came in, and I thought offensively he gave us a boost, but defensively I thought he did a good job, especially when we went to zone. SMU is a very good offensive team, and Boopy is a lot to handle, and so we went to zone to try to slow those guys down. I thought he did a good job of that. But, offensively, he made some big shots, some big drives, finished plays, and he played with the intensity and that you need to play with. So I was just happy for him. What I love about Nate and what he embodies, and he's not about the talk. He's not about famous quotes or any of this stuff. He rolls his sleeves up every day and go to work. And when things don't go his way or our way, he keeps working, right? And that's what I respect, and that's what I respect about all of these guys. Again, this is college athletics, and it's been followed by a lot, and it's easy to get down. It's easy to get down on yourself, especially when things are not going the way you want them to go. So I credit all of these guys. All these guys are tough. They fight. But Nate Kings in particular, never gets too high, never gets too low. He just keeps battling. And, this team is starting to, come together in that way. I think, the one thing about Cayenne is that, he's resilient. And we just talked about, every game is a different game, right? And you always have to stay ready, and you always have to be prepared in the opportunity. With this team, we can play 8, 9, 10 guys. So, again, those are the decisions that I have to make. And then sometimes, they may not favor you, but it's nothing personal. And I thought he responded. I really thought he responded well. The last couple of practices, he's been, really well. He responded well. He had a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and I think that helped him today. Yeah, he did a really good job. Tyler's one of our better defenders. Him and Sadiq and Will Kyle, those guys all have the ability to switch up onto guards. I think, today, you had a chance to see Tyler Betsy do that. The game before that, I thought William Kyle did a really good job of switching and guarding some of the California guards. So, especially in those situations, I think that's where we've improved at. In those situations, being able to kind of switch and try to keep people in front of us. And I think Tyler did a really good job. But what I was really proud of Tyler was that he came up with 5 rebounds today, and that's what I've been on him about. He got a big offensive rebound, which was huge for us. Tyler's 6'8", 6'9". He can shoot and he can do some other things, but he's still a sophomore. But I was really happy with him, being productive in the minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that was from yesterday. Obviously, you heard him mentioned. He mentioned the crowd. The crowd was really good coming back to a Saturday game in the Dome, and W's cure everything, man. And I when we left here last time, we talked about if this team could win 2 of these in a row, it's going to change a multitude of things.
We talked about just winning overall, right? Changes.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But we were going to start with these 2 because we both felt like that these were winnable games. And we thought that they were in the same wheelhouse as Syracuse as far as talent goes. And albeit this was a quad one game for SMU. So that should tell you something where the team actually is, and not just that, but the conference itself and where this conference is this year and how close it actually is. So
right.
SMU, they're 36th in that. They didn't. I don't think they moved. No, they were 35th, and then they moved up to 36th, or moved down to 36, I should say. Syracuse actually in after when all is said and done, they are going to fall from 68 to 69. So that's the home. That's playing at home. I think probably that did that. And like I said, these teams are so close that the teams are so close that it didn't move the needle enough, right?
So that's where I have, obviously, this is where you go and you question the net,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Because we were 68th going into Cal. Cal was, I think, 63rd or 60th or something like that.
Yeah, they're right in front of us. Yeah,
right. And we didn't move after we beat them, which I can understand, because they're like right there on the bubble.
And they moved up after a loss to us.
Right, because we are looked at as a quad one game at home, right? So that's one thing. Is that you got to kind of look at it in one situation as when as far as it goes to the net ranking, as mad as how everyone played this year, or as mad as everyone is about how the season and how it's gone so far, we're still looked at as you come to our house and it's a quad one game,
right?
So that's kind of saying something a little bit, but to me it just doesn't make any sense. I can see not moving that much with Cal, and I realize that Cal and SMU were both quad two, but there's a big difference between a team 35th or 36th in the net and 60th in the net. Cal right now is currently like the second 4 out of bracketology, while meanwhile SMU right now looks like they're the 8th team from the ACC that's comfortably in the bracket as a 9 seed. So to me, beating an SMU who is very close to being a home quad one game, or them coming to our house. I mean, if they will get top 30, then that would be a quad one game, right?
Yes, it has to get to 30.
Right. So us beating them kind of hurts in one way, but if they can turn it around, win a couple games, and they get to the top 30, then all of a sudden that turns into a quad one game, and we move up more. So that's probably something.
Not that a quad two game is bad. I mean.
No, but it's obviously the way it's set up is just if we're set up as a quad one and we're at home playing against a quad two, then obviously doesn't move the needle that much. Now, if it was away, if it was at SMU, then we probably would have moved a little bit more. But to me, this is one of those things where home or not, we still should have moved the needle a little bit. But here's hopes that we're SMU fans from here on out, unless we have to play them in the ACC tournament. Hopefully SMU can go on a little run and they get into the top 30 of the net. Then that turns into a quad one, and that'll definitely help us.
Yeah, and there was two different points in the game. I believe Syracuse down by 12, and they did a tremendous job in this game against SMU and fighting back. And they're shooting 45% from the floor. They shot tremendous from 3-point range and 78% from the line, dude. I mean, so it's like, if we could have some consistency here, because SMU is a better team than Cal.
Yeah.
And if we could have some consistency here with the 3-point shooting in the free throws, I mean, you're looking at a team that is giving themselves a lot of opportunities at the line most of the time. Even yesterday was only 18, but they're giving themselves a lot of opportunities at the line quite a bit. And if they can freaking make some foul shots on the regular, this is a whole different team. They make foul shots, just a couple more in regulation against Cal. That thing doesn't have to go till 10 o'clock at night. So
and make foul shots against Hofstra, we win. Make foul shots against
Boston
Houston.
College.
Houston, we don't go to overtime.
Yeah, that was a big one. The Houston game. Yeah.
So again,
it's their bugaboo, man. They gotta figure it out. They got to figure it out.
And if they shoot normal, I mean, we went 14-18 yesterday, 78%. If they shoot normal percentage, we lose this game.
We absolutely do. It came down 1 point win.
Right.
And it was Kings, by the way. If you want to heap some praise on a guy, First of all, he mentions three guys, and they were the three guys that I noticed yesterday too, and being Kings, Anthony, and Betsy. And Betsy with coach mentioned it, an offensive board towards the end of this game that was an integral part of us getting ahead late in the game. And this was kind of a back and forth for a little bit, kind of your classic cardiac Cuse moments were happening in this game towards the end. And Kai and Anthony to come in, the way he comes in with, a positive attitude and understanding, this kid didn't play a couple games ago. He just sat and watched. And for him to come out the way he did, he hit a couple big 3-pointers and got the crowd reeling. And, it was enough can't be said about that. But Tyler Betsy, man, coming off the bench, too, with 8 points, a couple 3-pointers, and not just shooting threes, right? I mean, he had 5 rebounds, like Coach mentioned, and one of those being a big one. So, and I mean, you can't say enough about, like you said, just let Nate Kings eat. Just let him do his thing. He's obviously getting comfortable in his role on this team, and enough can't be said about that. So, really, really good to see.
Yeah, and then the other thing too. Again, two games in a row where we had 14 assists and only 8 turnovers. This is one of our more clean games that we've had. Nathan George only had 2 turnovers. He had 16 points. Donnie still had 18 points. But I think one of the keys, and I mean, I'm just going to give him credit where credit's due. There was a point in this game where I was watching it, and it was just like, okay, like I'm just watching the same game again, right? Like they're going to get up 8 or 9. We're going to make a run, get it close. Think that we're going to get it close. Then,
get blasted for 2 minutes. Can't make a shot.
Well, that's what happened, right? It's just they took a lead, and then we made a run in 39-35 at halftime. And you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, we're in it. We still got a shot. Come out the first 8 minutes of the second half, get down 12 again." And it was just like, we're going to do this all over again, right? And in my head, I'm like, okay, we'll make a run, we'll get it close, and then they're just going to tear my dreams away of a chance of winning this game, right? Like I just thought, like it was like I was watching it in the second half, and it was almost like I've seen this movie before. I know it's going to happen, and it did. And I think that there's a couple of reasons for that. But to me personally, before I even get into that, yesterday was probably Coach Autry's best coach game of the season. To me personally,
what would make you say that? Because there was a couple of things that I noticed too, and I'm interested to see if you saw what I saw. And mine's not very insightful, but it's a game management thing. I thought that he managed the game pretty good.
Well, and that's kind of my point. Is I think that you saw in the beginning that you knew that SMU, they wanted to play up tempo. They're physical on offense. They average 86 points, so they get up and down. And we master physicality on offense, and I think that we made a point to – I think that sometimes we've talked about it before. Maybe we don't make a point to try to go to the free throw line or just go to the hole to get fouled. They're going to try to make the shot. And yesterday, I thought, JJ Early, Donnie Freeman, a couple of those guys, they went in to obviously score, but they took the foul. And I think that SMU getting in foul trouble obviously was a huge, huge part of this game, right?
Yeah.
But to me, it was when SMU got into foul trouble and they had to change to the zone defense in the second half, and we were down 12, and he brought in Cayenne and Tyler Betsy with Nate Kings, Nate George, Donnie Freeman. Donnie Freeman was playing center. All of them can shoot free throws. All of them can shoot threes. They spread the ball around. They moved the ball well throughout the zone. And we got a lot of easy buckets. And he stayed with what was working. He stayed. And earlier in the season, there's no way Cayenne's playing the whole rest of that, right? JJ comes out with 13 minutes to go. All right, get rested up. And we're on the 8-7-6 minute mark. JJ didn't come back in the game from like 13 minutes on.
Yeah.
So just the way that he managed the rotations versus what the other team was showing, and not just saying, "Oh no, we're just playing these guys because those are the best guys." I think that was obviously one thing, but also two, the other thing I saw was that it looked like the things out of timeouts that he was drawing up actually worked. And it actually looked like we came out of timeouts and out of huddles, and we actually implemented and was successful with what the play was. And again, like I said, 14 assists to eight turnovers. And we got out-rebounded really bad in the first half, and we came back and made it a lot closer and way more competitive. So just overall playing the right guys, not making, just because Cayenne made a bad shot or tried to take a bad shot after he was kind of on fire there. I feel like earlier in the year he would have just went straight to get JJ in there, But, I mean, this is the first game I think that both Cayenne and JJ have played where Cayenne's played more. I mean, JJ only had 19 minutes. He didn't even play a whole half, and Cayenne played 24. So obviously you can tell that some of these guys lacked a little bit of confidence, and it's back for some of these guys. And I think that just Adrian Autry being able to see that and not mess it up by pulling them and just leaving them in there and letting that five that was in there kept doing what they were doing. I think that it was just something that I hadn't seen all year from Adrian Autry. So I don't know. It just seemed to me like majority of the year he had his rotation. Yeah, they would come out if they were in foul trouble, if they were tired. But then when they were ready to go, he would just put them back in no matter what, no matter how good some of those, bench players were playing.
Right. And, we kind of talked about some of his playing around with rotations, already this year and trying to figure things out and being at a point where we should have been long over this. But you just got to give these guys an opportunity to, if they can't be out there and make a mistake, then, I mean, if it becomes detrimental to what we're doing here, then, obviously you need to make a decision. But I feel like that he in his defense, if I've got to be a red apologetic, he's in a tough spot, and he doesn't want to waste time if he feels like, okay, this is going to work, just yank him out.
Right.
And instead of just letting them kind of settle in and see what they can do and work through their mistakes. So,
right.
Are you on your mic or are you not on your mic?
I'm on my mic.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's take a look at some fan feedback. All right. And I am just going to skim this real quick. There's not a ton. There's not a ton here. I don't know how many you have. But you still, I got 2 semi-negative comments. There's only freaking 12 on here, but not every single one of them is saying fire red. And I guess, at some point, I think that the writing is on the wall that Adrian Autry is not going to be the coach next year. And so I don't know if we need to beat a dead horse. You got Herman Frazier and the associate athletic director and the athletic director himself, John Wildhack, leaving. Now, to be fair, Herman Frazier did talk about this last year. This was a blip on the radar last year. John Wildhack was not, although I think he should have. Yeah, I'm fine with this, but there is a lot of very important roles that need to be filled heading into the next season. And I think that anybody who becomes athletic director for this Syracuse University, that he's going to want to make a change anyway. Okay. And I mean,
we're getting a new chancellor too.
Yeah. And a new chancellor. Right. That's right. Yes. And look, that's a lot of extremely important roles that are being filled. And I don't see Fran Brown going anywhere. Each one
hires the other one.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, that's like what comes first, right? So people are worried about, well, what is Wildhack going to be able to do before he leaves? Well, he shouldn't be able to do anything. He's announced his retirement. He should be able to do anything. So the chancellor gets in there, and then that's implemented first, and then the ball rolls downhill, right? So whoever the university decides as chancellor is going to start calling the shots here. And it wouldn't be right for Wildhack to have anything to do with any hires from here on out. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. What does this look like next year? We don't know. I think it's obviously something that could be really good or really bad. It's so basically what I'm saying is I have no idea. We haven't heard any names rumored for any of these positions that I've seen, and so there's really no need to speculate. But I think we can go ahead and with the Fire Red stuff. I think that Red's out, and I think that this Syracuse basketball team is going to have. They're going to have a totally different look. We're going to get a coach, I'm hoping, outside of the Syracuse bloodline, and we're going to be looking at a new era of Syracuse sports, like a real new era. Not just a residual of what Boeheim had created, right? And so it's kind of exciting. But at the same time, I think as us as fans, we did the episode last week where we went over Legit Jack's comments and how kind of absurd they were and things like that. And I still think she went about it wrong. And I still do think that W's cure everything. And I think that should be the focus for any coach or any program when fans get ornery like ours are. But with that said, I think it's just time to focus on us as fans just trying to, see where this is going to take us for the rest of the year, because Red's got nothing to lose. And it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And, I think we're a shoe-in, obviously, for the ACC tournament. I don't think we need to worry about that, right? So,
No.
So we will have an opportunity through that. We are still kind of high in the net. I guess the one question I had for you, Joe, if you look at the net and you're like, okay, well, Syracuse is 69th right now, which is not good. You play a couple home games, you win them both, but you took one in double overtime and you're at home, so you drop. I think for Syracuse to be comfortable in the in any kind of tournament, you'd have to be in the low 40s maybe between 40 and 50 for tournament hopes. And that's just the way I see it. Now, this never equates to, we never understand this, but I'm just saying from the gauge that we have, which is the net, to kind of speculate, I feel like that's where we need to be. And Syracuse can move the needle. So like tomorrow they go to play Duke, right? Losing there and making it respectable, they could jump any number of spots.
No, I mean, they're most likely going to jump.
Right.
We'll most likely move up just based upon that.
Right.
The game, like going to Louisville and going to Duke, we're going to move up. But I mean, even if we lose those games,
right? So, let alone winning one of those games,
right?
And UNC's out there, star player. We don't know what they're going to look like. I didn't watch them yesterday. If they played, I'm sure they did, but I didn't see it. And so, you have opportunities against good teams to improve this resume.
Wake Forest, we go to Wake Forest, they're 64th in the net. That's going to be a quad one game. They're not. I mean, they're 13-12.
Right. So, I mean, there's opportunities. And so there's only a few games left. So I think it would behoove us all. And you don't have to do what I say. This is just what I'm going to do. There's 5 games left. One of which is probably a win. Okay. I mean, I see 2 wins on here if my money's going down on stuff, right? At Wake Forest and Pitt. So those are 2 really good opportunities to pull out W's. The rest of them are ranked teams in Duke, UNC, and Louisville, and very good ranked teams. So this is a good stretch of this schedule for Syracuse to finish off with, to really make some noise in the net and move up. I don't see them. I mean, like you said, man, you could go to Duke and lose, and Louisville and lose, and still jump in spots. So, let alone pulling off some wins too. So, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me.
The hell was that?
It was me covering a sneeze.
Okay.
So yeah, I just think that there's going to be a lot. There's the fans out there that they're just over Adrian Autry.
Yeah,
they might
I know.
they might not even watch any games, and no matter what, they're going to want Autry gone.
I think he's gone. Yeah, I think it's inevitable anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can say that, but if you look at the mathematical portion of it, because again, you think that I'm bad. I talked to my dad yesterday, and he's
got a spreadsheet for it.
Oh, he's more optimistic than me.
Really?
He says, I said, Dad, I think that, no matter what, we're going to go into the ACC tournament, and we're going to have to win the ACC tournament to get it. And he's like, even if we make the championship game, I'm like, at this point. And he's like, well, what if we go 5-0 for the rest of the season? That could happen.
If we go 5-0, then
and I'm like, okay,
we're
fair,
good.
Right? Like, like fair. If we go 5-0, we beat Duke, we beat Louisville, we beat North Carolina, and we're 20-11. Then you're talking about a completely different story. I said, but Dad, that's mathematically possible, but not probable, right?
Yeah, no, not probable. I mean, we're gonna get. I don't even know if I want to watch the Duke game.
Right, and I even went through a scenario with him of, well, what if we lose close games to Louisville and Duke away, but we end up beating Pittsburgh, beating Wake Forest to make it a quad one win there. And then, like I said, with Caleb Wilson, or you said it, with Caleb Wilson being out in North Carolina, I mean, I don't know if it was it last year or the year before where we went, I think it was the year before, we went to North Carolina and we lost by like 30. And then later on in the season, they came to Syracuse and we beat them in the same season.
Yeah.
So even if we put that scenario out there, like let's just play this game of, you lose close games or just you go out and you're respectable against Duke and Louisville, you're still going to move up. But then you win a quad one at Wake Forest, you beat up Pittsburgh, and then you turn around and you win the home game against North Carolina, which would be a quad one. And now you're 18-13. Maybe there's a scenario there where, because there's enough good teams in the ACC, where if maybe we just need to make the ACC championship game, right? But even then, like, what are the odds, right? It's just because if realistically, if you look at the ACC and the way it's set up and where we're probably going to be in the standings, for us to make the championship game, we probably, and because it's neutral, we probably are playing, 2 to 3 to 4 quad one games, right? So if you add another 2-3 quad one wins and then you play Duke or Louisville in the championship and lose, that might put you in a position where, 21-14 might get you in with your strength of schedule. But, I mean, you're talking about just not probable situations, right? I mean, I had a conversation with him yesterday for about an hour about this, And so he's way more optimistic as far as the mathematical, because it is college basketball and anything can happen, right? But do you think, and I had a question for you, do you think that there's fans out there that wouldn't even want to see us make this run?
Yes. There are fans out there that are that cynical that we've seen this already, that they are rooting for Syracuse to fail so that they could be justified in their anger and their feelings. And that was my point. That's the root of my point when I'm saying, look, we as fans should get over the red firing situation because I feel it's inevitable. Let's get behind this team. I mean, look, if they go with these next 5 games and they pull off one win and it's against Pitt, last game of the season, right, exactly. And you have every right to be upset. But right now they've won 2. They got some 2 tough games coming up. Let's see what happens. I'm not completely optimistic on this thing, but I'm not in a situation in my own head where I'm like, I hope they fail. Right. There are fans that are hoping that the team fails, and part of me understands that, but my point is that you don't have to root for them to fail anymore. The fan base has been loud enough to whoever takes over the decisions being made at the top of the university. They've already heard you. Things are going to change. And it could be for the better, it could be for the worse. We're just going to have to wait and see. But there's no sense in throwing the season away and not being at least a little optimistic at where we're at.
Right. I mean, realistically, you want to see some of these guys get better, right? I think one of the issues is you get certain fans that'll go, like, again, my dad, where we had the conversation of, well, if Autry, if he leaves, then what are the chances that we're going to be able to keep a lot of these guys? I'm like, probably not great. Like, usually when you change a coach, I mean, retention rates aren't great anyway, right? But realistically, there's about 8 guys, underclassmen, on this team that we can retain. And if you look at it, I mean, a lot of those guys, you could retain a Nate George, Cayenne Anthony, Sadiq White, Tyler Betsy, Donnie Freeman, Soiree. I mean, that's a nice little group to be able to grow on top of bringing in some recruits and getting some people in the transfer portal. So I think there's some fans that kind of want to see some of these players still stay with Syracuse and grow and get better. And some fans are afraid of a complete blow up, right? And realistically, because again, it can be mathematically possible. I know you're coming from a place of, I think it's inevitable because realistically and probably there's a probability that we're not going to make the tournament, right?
Right. Well, I wouldn't put my money on it. I still wouldn't put my money on it.
I damn sure wouldn't put my money on it. But if they end up actually pulling it off and making the tournament, I don't see how you can get rid of it. And I still think there's going to be fans that aren't going to be a fan of that.
Well, that's a good point. And I would say that there's a chance he doesn't lose his job, but I would still say that there's a chance he does. Absolutely. I mean, I've seen stranger things have happened. I mean,
we haven't made a tournament in, 5 or 6 years?
5. This is year 5. So
if he comes back from this and actually they make a run and get in there, you don't think a new AD, a new deputy AD, a new chancellor, they come in and they're like, look, we got Fran, who's brings some excitement. Obviously, Felicia's doing a great job over with Syracuse women. Both women's lacrosse and men's lacrosse, they're good.
Men's lacrosse looked fun. I mean, you brought it up.
Right, I know.
That was an awesome. That was an awesome game.
But the only real coach in flux would be that Adrian Autry. And if he turned around and made a run and made it to the NCAA tournament, I think it would be an easier transition for an AD to come in, learn the spot, learn the place, and not have to replace any coaches, and then judge them through his lens for a year or 2, or however you think that what I mean, what they deserve. But again, it's not probable.
Well, you just gotta. So here's the thing. The chancellor coming in is already going to know who they want for AD. The AD coming in is already going to have a good idea who they want as a coach. I mean, these things are happening behind the scenes. We don't see it. I don't think Red keeps his job either way. I really don't.
Okay.
I really don't. Yeah, I mean, aside from doing something seriously miraculous in the postseason, I'm just not seeing it. Because look, at the end of the day, man, we can beat certain teams. We got one good upset this year. Okay, all right. We played some teams tight. We know what this team is, and we know what their caliber is. And I feel like pulling off upsets and being able to make our way into the tournament is highly unlikely. However, if we did, I guess, I mean, maybe I would reserve my thoughts at the end of the day to see what we did in the tournament, but I just don't think so. But,
I mean, we said it last episode, wins changes everything.
I mean, wins fix all of the negativity surrounding the basketball program. Yeah, we went through this with football. Don't forget, man. This was, the fans are feeling it heavy right now. And this football season with Steve Angeli would have been probably a whole lot better. Not probably, obviously it would have been a whole lot better. Mm-hmm. And you can look to one guy making that big of a difference, I feel like.
In football.
In basketball, it's a lot different, man. Like you have as a coach so much more control over the game than you do in football, really. At the end of the day, and the next 5 games are going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. I'm also looking forward to see what happens at the end of the year. I really am. I think change after Boeheim left. I think all of this change is really good. I really do. I think that it's much needed, and I'll be the first to say it. And I love Jim Boeheim. I think he stayed too long. Okay, he coached for as many years as I've now been alive. Okay. There comes a point in time where maybe shoulda, woulda, coulda hung it up just a little bit sooner. But yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting in a way, and I feel like all of the complaining we've done, that I've done, I'm getting what I wanted. Okay, so sometimes be careful for what you wish for, but in this case, I think it's all positive stuff. The changes that are coming, and I love Red, dude. I do. It's nothing personal at all, but I feel like this team needs an enema. I mean, in retention, you talk about retention. It's like, well, if they stay, they stay. If they don't, they don't. I guess. I mean, aren't we all used to this by now too? Like, it's every year we're dealing with it anyway. So I mean, you know, be happy, Donnie Freeman and JJ Starling. I love those two guys. JJ Starling, a hometown dude. We're getting Kai Anthony right now for a bag of donuts. And, be happy. I don't know what happens with that next year, but I really hope that Kyan Anthony stays. Obviously, this kid needs to be shined a little bit, but the talent is there, and I would hate to see him go. If anybody goes, I would really hate to see him go. That's the one guy. That's the one guy for me.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's all about comfortability, right? Just know, especially if you start seeing the flashes, because we've seen the flashes all year. And you're like, oh, yeah, well, he's just a sophomore. Oh, yeah, those guys are just freshmen. Oh, yeah, they're like – so a lot of the fans look back at it in the good old days of, they're just sophomores, they're just freshmen. If they just build together, we could be good, right? We see the flashes. But to your point, how many of them are going to come back? I'm amongst the belief of you keep your coach and more are going to stay. But – that's not always true as well. And I think that there's some fans that just fear the roster turnover, and then we got to get used to a whole other team, right? Like last year we had to get used to a whole other team, and it was one of the worst teams. So when you look at this team versus last year, granted, we might not make the tournament, or most likely not going to make the tournament, but it's what we're watching is a whole lot better than last year.
Absolutely. And, it's obvious that Coach hasn't lost the locker room at any point this season. So there is loyalty to Coach Autry on this basketball team. And so we're likely going to see the same thing happen next year. And I think it's inevitable, but it's part of it, man.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're going to if we're going to turn it on its head, let's just turn it on its head and do it.
Yeah.
And, it comes down to managing this NIL. The new athletic director has got to be better at this than John Wildhack, because he has got to be, bro.
Well, that's also one thing if you want to, speculate and try to play devil's advocate or both sides. You see a situation where the chancellor's leaving, Herm Fraser's leaving, and John Wildhack's leaving. And so it's just, is it just coincidence, or is it because they know that the writing's on the wall that we can't compete NIL wise and that they're not going to be successful here? I don't know. I don't know.
Herm Fraser announced this last year,
right? So did the chancellor.
Okay, so we got John Wildhack. I think John Wildhack's feeling a little bit of heat, and I mean, someone who spent over a decade. It was like 20 years or something like that at ESPN, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this dude has really been a part of some big moments with ESPN. And then he comes here. He's here for a decade. The dude's got nothing to prove. I mean, it's getting difficult now. Okay, yeah. This thing was kind of you came in. You had a legendary coach in Jim Boeheim. You had a football program that was kind of always in limbo, still in limbo. Mm-hmm. And that need to get better, right? So it was kind of like par for the course when he comes in 10 years ago, and now it's getting hard. This dude's a millionaire. He's got nothing left to prove to anybody. He's got a lot of things to hang his hat on as far as his ESPN career goes, and even some of the stuff he's done at SU. But I mean, what the hell? He doesn't give a crap. I mean, wouldn't you just like to just ride off into the sunset with your millions and just not have to worry about the stress of NIL in the fans screaming at you and all the rest of it. I mean,
that's another possibility.
Yeah. I feel like
thing is we never know.
Yeah, we'll never know, but it's fun to talk about it anyway.
No, of course. Well, let me roll through these dang Facebook.
Okay, yeah, we haven't done one yet, and we started a half an hour ago.
So I have John says, best game I've been to all year. Great effort. Won't save the season, but I'll take it. Bob just said good. Michael, top fan Michael.
Michael. That was really loud, and I'm sorry. I don't know why that was so loud. Anyway, go on, Joe.
He put an emoji of a cricket, so that was it. I don't know exactly what that means, but I think it's crickets because maybe there was nobody that was responding to the thoughts on the game. And then the one that we've kind of already hit on some of this, but Ted says, Red deserves credit for this one. Papa Anthony and Betsy won't be posting any negative comments on the socials after this one. Rolling with George, Kings, Cayenne, Anthony, Betsy, and Freeman proved to be the right move against SMU's 1-3-1 zone. As that group patiently clawed its way back, Kings is proving to be the most important transfer. Nice job, Alex, who I'm assuming he's speaking of the, team manager or the GM?
Yeah. Yeah. Am I still on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I can't hear myself. Yes, I think he's the GM, and I heard rumors about that too. So.
Yeah, just rumors.
Right.
But again, like that's kind of based upon what his comment was kind of the same thing that I saw during the game as well. So I did want to give credit where credit is due. I never would have thought in a million years that he would have sat JJ that long.
Yeah, I would have never thought either. But that was it for Facebook? They suck.
Hey man, they've been leading the pack this year for a lot of games, but
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe because we won.
Well,
that's also another trend. I feel like.
What's that?
There's just been a lot of negativity, but I feel like more times than not, Facebook when we're not doing good or they don't have a good game, Facebook has more messages because they love to be negative.
Well,
yeah,
they're right. I mean, well, I think everybody loves it. At Joe's Mom 44. Of course we start winning again. This team kills me. How many more wins do we need to get on the bubble? Yes.
The weird thing is I don't think we're that far away. But
it's which ones though, Joe? You gotta get one of these three. You gotta at least get one of these three in the Wake Forest in the pit.
Yeah,
and then I think we're talking.
Yeah,
that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's definitely fair. It's just, and I hate to play the what if game. That's my whole thing, and that's what I spoke to my dad about too. He's like, "Well, this is the position we're in," and I might get that, but I think I said it a little while ago that I feel like it's going to come down to the end of the season, and we're not going to be in the talks, or we're going to be in the back of the bubble talk because of the Boston College and the Hofstra game. Sadly, well, and I wish that there was. Yeah. I wish there was some type of like NCAA net I don't even know what to do.
Clarity?
No.
Guidelines?
Well, there's that, right? But I wish that there was some type of program where you could go in and you could say, okay, you can pick a team and say, well, if they won this game and this game, then where would they be in the net?
I wonder if AI could figure out something like that. If they could analyze the net and figure out exactly how, maybe if you focus on one team, that'd be a nice little project if you got time to just play around with.
Yeah. Because to me, you look at, like I said, Cal, they're still in, I think they're not the first four out, but the next four out. So you're talking about they're still within a 5 to 6 team gap of being on the bubble. California's 17-9. We're 15-11. California does not have any quad 3 losses or quad 4 losses. We don't have any quad 4 losses. We're 4-2 in quad 3. So you flip that Boston College and that Hofstra. Now we're 17-9, the same as California, and I would just love to know where we actually would have been in the net, minus all the other games. Not talking about the Clemson game, not talking about the Houston game. Because realistically, if you look at it, we barely moved the needle, right? Playing against Quad 2 games at home. So when you look at the Quad 4 games, those are teams that you should blow out. If you look at Quad 3 teams, those are teams that you should definitely beat. And if you look at a lot of the teams that are on the bubble, they don't have Quad 3 and Quad 4 losses.
Right.
So
what?
Well, I'm just saying, it's. I said it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been thinking about it and dreading it this whole season. Is that Hofstra and Boston College game, to me, I mean, that's how close. That's how close we are from, having a completely different outlook at this game.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll never know. Although I'm checking. Our buddy Nadal, even when they go down in the first half, thought that they were playing well. Anthony got himself going by driving and kicking out, hustling and getting rebounds. Love the effort tonight. Yeah, they definitely did not quit. And they according to Gemini, okay, just got quick Google. Without these two losses, Syracuse would be 17-9 with 0 losses outside of quadrants 1 and 2. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Projected ranking. Entering the Boston College game, Syracuse was 63rd, removing the anchor of the 2 Quad 3 losses and adding 2 wins would likely mirror the profile of teams currently in the 40 to 50 range, such as SMU and Virginia Tech.
Right.
There you go.
Virginia Tech's in the first 4 out.
Well, there you go. That's how bad those 2 losses hurt us. That's how bad. So, instead of having dire 1.7% chances of making the tournament, which is where they stand right now, they would likely be listed in the first 4 out or last 4 in.
Yep.
Well, there you go. That's amazing, guys, actually.
And to be perfectly honest with you, like I said, Hofstra, you don't have Donnie Freeman, and you make 2 free throws, you win that game, even without him. And Boston College, if you follow the guy and you don't let him shoot a 3 to put it into overtime, then we probably win that game. And now we're having a completely different conversation. That's how close it was. And that's not even talking about the free throw against Houston that would have been completely different. So that's why it's one of those things where it's so hard sometimes when you look at, because when they start winning these games, you're like, oh man, it really isn't as bad as we thought, right?
Well, it's those 2 teams. Yeah, it's those 2 games.
You can't lose Quad 3 and Quad 4 games. You can't.
And I don't know which one hurt worse. I would have to say Boston College, right?
You know which one hurt worse. Yeah.
You think? Yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but those two losses, if those are wins, which they should have been, we don't even probably approach some of the things that we've had to approach this year
no.
From a standpoint of what we do here on this show and the things that we dealt with Coach Autry and the rest of it. I think things are totally different because of where they would be. And I mean, you would still be in a good place. So, look, that's pretty insightful actually, because I would have never guessed it would be that big of a difference. So, and we talked about both of those games, and we expressed concern about both those games. The loss to Boston College is really what started the freight train.
Hofstra.
Well, I mean, but Boston College came after Hofstra, so it was like, okay, we lost to Hofstra and Boston College. Boston College sucks. They suck.
Yeah, well.
So, at ends GDT needed that one. Let's go, gents. Our buddy Drew Cuse didn't get to post this last game. It's all that matters. He's got the Al Davis gift. Just win, baby. At EJ62564, too bad they let some get away earlier. Well, yes. Our buddy Captain Patrick. I'm still okay if we fire Red. Let's see. Let's just do Dominic here. And we'll wrap this thing up. Nate Kings is our best player. I really hope he gets extra year because of the medical issue he had. Amazing. I heard on the radio broadcast before the game, SU is undefeated when we take the most shots. Syracuse basketball is fun again. Let's beat Duke with the OOK. Yeah, that's a good stat. I don't know who was talking about that in the radio, but that's a fun stat. And, you have to make them. But at the end of the day, if you're getting up shots, then you're having opportunities. And so what was the one thing I wanted to check on the last game was, that's what I thought. We got beat on total rebounds, but the second chance points for SMU was 27-6, which that's what came through on that game to me was the second chance points. And that's really, really a tough stat to overcome, and they did. So, and they got beat in points in the paint 44-26. I mean, SMU stood out all over the stat sheet. Syracuse had great percentages, but SMU's numbers at the end of the day were really good. So, anyway. Anything else to add, Joe? We know who Duke is. We know who UNC is, guys. I mean, I'm not going to even... I didn't even research it. Cameron Boozer. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And look, they're freaking good. They're so good. And you guys know that. So we don't need to talk about it. What say you, Joe? Wrap this thing up, man.
I mean, look, it's going to help in the net. I'm not looking forward to really watching it. But again, I'm just saying, like, it's always. Have we ever even beat Duke at Duke?
Yes. When they were ranked first in the country, we're the only team to ever beat Duke when they were ranked number 1 and we were not ranked.
Really?
To beat them in Cameron Indoor. It's only happened once, and Syracuse did it.
Well, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. Now, I don't remember what year that was and what team we had. But it was some time ago. Do you remember the game?
No.
Yeah, you would if you looked it up. When we beat Duke at Duke, they were ranked first. We weren't ranked at all, and we're the only team to ever have done that. And we probably will be the only team ever to do it, period. So I know that stat because it's something I've held my hat on for however many years ago it was, because I think it was a thrilling game, and it was just one of those moments, man. It's just one of those moments. And you guys remember when we first got into the ACC and we started playing Duke, and how many times we actually beat them a couple of times. This was before this game that I'm talking about, but we actually beat them a couple of times. And there were some close games, and this is when they're talking about making Duke and Syracuse a rivalry. They had some close games. They had some really tough calls at the end of some of these games. And some calls that did not go our way. Yeah,
so February 1st, 2014, we were ranked 2nd. Duke was ranked 17th, and we won our first ever ACC visit to Cameron, 91-89 in overtime. Then January 14th, 2019, we were unranked. Duke was number 1, and we beat them 95-91 in overtime. Tyus Battle scored 32 points.
There you go. Tyus Battle. Yeah.
It was the Tyus Battle game.
So it was 7 years ago.
Yep.
Wow. That's the last time we beat them, if I'm remembering right. Wait. Yeah. No. We beat them at home since then, I believe.
I think
we?
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. But wasn't that COVID year or no? Or was that before
at home?
All that craziness started? No, when we beat them. It was before all the craziness started?
Oh, that's a good question, Joe. I don't know. I thought you had it up.
I mean, I did have it up. It was 2019, but I'm just saying.
Oh, that was before. That was before.
Yeah. I was just making sure. I was like, is that?
No, that was a big.
Was it when they had all the fans?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was a big crowd. Yeah, it was a big crowd there. And you know how it gets. But I think James Zuba, our buddy James Zuba, who we haven't talked to in a long time, way too long, was there. I remember. I think he posted a picture with the kids behind him, and it's a pretty good picture. But anyway.
See, now you're getting my hopes up. I didn't remember that. I don't know why I didn't remember that.
I don't know why you didn't remember it either. It was a big deal. But
so you're getting my hopes up.
Well, good.
And then
you
we're
know what?
Come back next week, and I'm going to be like, "What was all that 1 in a million talk?"
Yeah. Well, one of us has got to remain positive because I am totally honest with you. Like, I don't want to watch the game now. I'm going to, but the question is, for how long? That's the question.
Yeah.
You can't dig yourself out of a Duke hole. You can't. They're too good. You're not going to be able to make some kind of miraculous run. You're going to have to be perfect, and they're going to have to. And they're going to have to be off. I mean, let's be honest. You're going to have to. They're going to have to be off in some kind of way. You're going to.
There's that too.
So, anyways, all right. I think that's good enough.
Yeah. Who do they play after that though?
UNC at home.
Saturday.
Yeah, 1:00. Duke's at 7 tomorrow, and then
Big Monday.
Yeah, and then again, just had Big Monday, and then
at North Carolina.
Yeah, and then North Carolina at home Saturday at 1:00.
Oof.
And we have one more 9:00 game on the schedule Tuesday, March 3rd at Louisville.
Of course they do.
Right. All right.
That might be the one I'm falling asleep to.
Yeah, that will be. That one might be really easy to fall asleep to, actually, because my TV might be off. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night at 7. Can Syracuse keep this thing going? Can they win us back? They're known for it. We'll see what happens. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.